First contact and cultural clash. The sleek silver spacecraft glided silently through the inky blackness of space, its gleaming hull reflecting pinpricks of distant starlight. Inside the vessel's command center, Captain Zara Vex stood rigidly at attention, her iridescent blue skin shimmering under the glow of holographic displays. As Supreme Commander of the Galactic Consortium's first contact mission to Earth, she felt the weight of immense responsibility on her shoulders. The Consortium had spent decades studying this primitive world from afar, watching as the humans slowly developed space travel capabilities. Now that they had achieved faster-than-light technology, it was time to officially welcome them into the galactic community, or rather, to absorb them into the rigid hierarchy of Consortium control. "We are entering Earth's solar system, Captain," announced her navigation officer. "Estimated arrival at the third planet in 37 standard minutes." Zara gave a curt nod. "Excellent. Prepare the diplomatic team for landing. And remember, these humans are an emotional, unpredictable species. We must be prepared for anything." As the ship cruised past the red planet the humans called Mars, Zara reviewed the mission briefing one final time. The Consortium's goals were clear: establish dominance over Earth, integrate its resources and labor force into the galactic economy, and begin the process of cultural assimilation. The humans would resist at first, no doubt, but they would soon learn their place in the cosmic order. Zara allowed herself a small smile. This was what she had trained for her entire life: to bring order to chaos, to impose the Consortium's will on inferior species. These humans would soon bow before her. The spacecraft entered Earth's atmosphere with barely a shudder, its advanced shielding dissipating atmospheric friction. As they descended towards the designated landing zone, an open field outside a city called Washington, D.C., Zara caught her first glimpse of the primitive world below. Crude dwellings and vehicles dotted the landscape. Clouds of pollution hung over urban centers. Truly, these humans were in desperate need of Consortium guidance and control. A welcoming committee awaited them as the ship touched down. Zara straightened her elaborately decorated uniform and strode purposefully down the landing ramp, flanked by her security detail. A human male stepped forward, hand extended in what Zara recognized as a primitive greeting gesture. "On behalf of the people of Earth, welcome to our world. I'm President David Chen of the United Earth Alliance." Zara ignored the outstretched hand, instead fixing the human with an icy stare. "I am Captain Zara Vex of the Galactic Consortium. Your planet is now under our protection and control. Resistance is inadvisable." President Chen's welcoming smile faltered. I'm sorry, but that's not how we do things here on Earth. We're an independent world, and while we're eager to join the galactic community as equals, we have no intention of submitting to outside control." Zara's eyes narrowed dangerously. "You misunderstand, human. This is not a negotiation. The Consortium's will is absolute. Your cooperation is appreciated, but not required." With a wave of her hand, Zara's security team fanned out, energy weapons at the ready. The human security forces tensed, hands moving to their own primitive projectile weapons. "Now see here," Chen began, his voice taking on an edge of steel. "We've extended our hospitality in good faith. If you're not here for peaceful contact, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave." Zara let out a harsh laugh. "Oh, you poor, foolish creatures. You have no concept of the power you face. Perhaps a demonstration is in order." She tapped a code into her wrist computer. High above, her ship's energy cannons hummed to life. A blinding beam lanced out, vaporizing a nearby empty building. The humans gasped in shock and fear. "That was merely a fraction of our capabilities," Zara stated coldly. "Now shall we discuss the terms of your surrender?" But to her surprise, the human leader did not cower as expected. Instead, his jaw clenched in determination as he stared her down. "We will never surrender our freedom," Chen declared. "Humanity has faced threats before, and we've always prevailed. If it's a fight you want, You'll soon learn why it's unwise to underestimate us. For the first time, Zara felt a flicker of uncertainty. This was not going according to plan. These humans were supposed to be primitive and easily cowed. Yet here they stood, defiant in the face of superior technology and firepower. She opened her mouth to deliver a scathing retort, but before she could speak, alarms began blaring from her ship. She whirled to see streams of small craft rising from hidden bunkers across the landscape, streaking towards her vessel. "Interceptors incoming," shouted her security chief. "Our shields are holding for now, but their weapons are more advanced than our intelligence indicated." Zara's mind raced. How was this possible? The humans were supposed to be decades behind consortium technology. "Unless you knew we were coming," she breathed, turning back to President Chen. "You've been preparing." The human's grim smile confirmed her suspicion. "We may be young as a spacefaring race, but we're quick learners. Did you really think we wouldn't detect your probes and scout ships? We've been anticipating this day for years." Around them, more human vehicles and troops were emerging from concealment. Zara and her landing party were swiftly being surrounded. "I'll give you one chance to leave peacefully," Chen said. "Otherwise, I'm afraid you'll be spending some time in containment while we have a nice long chat about your intentions." Zara's mind whirled. This was all wrong. The humans were supposed to be helpless, not prepared for invasion. The consortium's carefully laid plans were unraveling before her eyes. For the first time in her life, Captain Zara Vex faced a force she couldn't simply steamroll into submission. As she weighed her limited options, a disturbing thought occurred to her. Perhaps the consortium had gravely underestimated this species called humanity. The first seeds of respect and fear began to take root in her mind. Whatever happened next, it was clear that her mission to Earth would be far more challenging than anyone had anticipated. The humans had revealed hidden depths of ingenuity and determination. And Zara suspected this was only the beginning of the surprises they had in store, the unexpected alliance. As the tense standoff continued, an unexpected event shattered the fragile equilibrium. The sky above suddenly lit up with a dazzling display of swirling colors, like an aurora borealis on steroids. Both humans and aliens alike gazed upward in awe and confusion. "Quantum flux storm," shouted one of Zara's officers. "Captain, our systems are going haywire." President Chen's comm unit crackled to life. "Sir, we're detecting massive energy surges across the globe. Something big is coming through." Before anyone could react, a colossal ship emerged from the swirling vortex of light. It dwarfed Zara's vessel, stretching for miles across the sky. Its surface rippled and shifted like liquid metal, defying the laws of physics. A booming voice echoed in everyone's minds, bypassing spoken language entirely. "Sentients of Earth and visitors from AFR. We are T80 harvesters. Your world has been chosen. Prepare for consumption." Terror gripped both humans and consortium aliens alike as smaller craft began pouring from the massive ship. These weren't ordinary vessels, but nightmarish biomechanical entities that seemed more alive than machine. President Chen turned to Captain Zara, desperation in his eyes. "I don't know what the hell these things are, but I'm guessing they're not friends of yours either." Zara shook her head, her usual composure shaken. "Harvesters, they're supposed to be a myth. A horror story told to frighten younglings. If they're real." She trailed off, watching as the first wave of harvester bioships engaged Earth's defensive forces. Human fighters unleashed salvos of missiles, only to see them absorbed harmlessly into the creatures' shifting hulls. "Your weapons are ineffective," Zara said grimly. The harvesters adapt to any form of attack. They consume worlds, strip mining entire planets of resources and life. If the stories are true, no civilization has ever successfully repelled them. Chen's jaw clenched as he watched his forces being decimated. There's always a first time. We're not going down without a fight. To Zara's shock, The human president extended his hand once more. Look, I know we got off on the wrong foot, but right now we've got bigger problems. What do you say we put aside our differences and focus on the real threat? Zara hesitated. Everything in her training screamed against cooperating with a lesser species. And yet, these humans had already proven far more capable than expected. Perhaps together they stood a chance against this impossibility. She grasped Chen's hand firmly. Agreed, a temporary alliance for mutual survival. Chen nodded grimly. I'll take it. Now, what can you tell us about these harvesters? As Zara began sharing what little concrete information the consortium had on the mythical beings, a small team of human scientists approached, led by a young woman with wild red hair and a manic gleam in her eye. Mr. President, she called out breathlessly. We've been analyzing the energy readings from the harvester ships. I think we might have something. Chen turned to her. Dr. Lakshmi, what have you found? The scientist's words tumbled out in an excited rush. Their biomechanical nature, it's not just for show. These things are literally alive. And you know what all living things need? Energy. She thrust a tablet towards them, displaying a complex graph. See these fluctuations? Every time they absorb an attack, there's a massive energy spike, but then it drops off sharply. I think they're feeding off the energy of our weapons. Zara's eyes widened as she grasped the implications. Of course, that's how they adapt so quickly. They don't just neutralize attacks, they metabolize them. Dr. Lakshmi nodded vigorously. Exactly. But here's the thing. There's always a split second of vulnerability right after they feed. If we could hit them with the right kind of energy at precisely the right moment, we might be able to overload their systems, Chen finished, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. Zara frowned. But what kind of energy weapon would be powerful enough? Even our most advanced consortium tech barely scratches them. A sleek grin spread across Dr. Lakshmi's face. Who said anything about a weapon? What we need is a sacrifice. She pointed to Zara's ship. Your faster-than-light drive. If we could rig it to detonate at the exact moment one of those things tries to absorb the energy. It would be like forcing them to swallow a supernova. Zara breathed, both awed and horrified by the audacity of the plan. Chen looked between the alien captain and the human scientist. Can we do it? Can we rig your ship's drive to explode on command? Zara hesitated, torn between duty to the consortium and the desperate need for survival. Finally, she nodded. Yes, but we'll only get one shot at this. Miss the timing, and we lose our only chance. Then we'd better not miss, Chen said grimly. He turned to Dr. Lakshmi. Coordinate with Captain Zara's engineers. I want that drive rigged and ready ASAP. As the unlikely alliance sprang into action, Zara found herself reassessing everything she thought she knew about humans. Their resilience, their creativity in the face of impossible odds. It was unlike anything she'd encountered in her years of space exploration. For the first time, she wondered if perhaps the consortium's philosophy of rigid control and cultural assimilation was fundamentally flawed. These humans, with their messy emotions and chaotic diversity, had conceived a plan that no consortium strategist would have ever considered. As she watched Dr. Lakshmi excitedly explaining complex energy transfer theories to her bewildered consortium engineers, Zara felt a strange warmth in her chest. Was this admiration, respect? Whatever it was, she knew that when they survived this, her report to consortium high command would be very different from what she had originally planned. These humans were not a species to be conquered and controlled. They were a force to be reckoned with, and just maybe, allies worth having. The fate of two civilizations now hung in the balance, dependent on a plan so crazy it just might work. As the harvesters continued their relentless assault, humanity and their former would-be conquerors raced against time to turn the tables on an enemy that had never known defeat. The galaxy was about to learn a valuable lesson. Never underestimate the power of human ingenuity when backed into a corner. The greatest weapons are often found not in advanced technology, but in the indomitable spirit of those fighting for survival. And in this moment, that spirit burned brighter than any star in the cosmos. The Quantum Gambit. As Earth's forces and the consortium aliens worked feverishly to modify Zara's ship, the Harvesters intensified their assault. Cities around the globe fell silent as the biomechanical monstrosities drained them of energy and resources. The clock was ticking, and humanity's window of opportunity was rapidly closing. In a makeshift war room beneath the White House, President Chen, Captain Zara, and Dr. Lakshmi huddled around a holographic display of the battlefield. The scientist's fingers flew across her tablet, making last-minute calculations. "We've got a problem," she announced, her voice tight with stress. "The Harvester mothership is generating some kind of quantum interference field. It's disrupting our ability to target them accurately." Chen slammed his fist on the table. "Damn it. We can't afford to miss. One shot is all we've got." Zara's antennae twitched thoughtfully. What if we didn't need to be accurate? What if we could be everywhere at once? Dr. Lakshmi's eyes widened. Quantum entanglement. But that's purely theoretical. "Not for the consortium," Zara replied. "We've been experimenting with quantum teleportation technology. It's highly unstable, but it might be crazy enough to work," Chen finished. "What do you need?" Zara took a deep breath. "I'll have to modify my neural implant to interface directly with your ship's targeting systems. It's dangerous. The feedback could fry my brain, but it's our best shot at piercing their defenses." Chen looked at her with newfound respect. "You'd risk your life for us, after coming here to conquer." Zara met his gaze steadily. "I've learned more about true strength and courage in the past 24 hours than in my entire career with the consortium. If we survive this, perhaps there is much our civilizations could teach each other." As the others rushed to make the necessary preparations, a young human soldier approached the group. His uniform was torn and dirty, his face streaked with grime and determination. "Private Jack Harper, sir," he saluted Chen. "I overheard your plan. With all due respect, I'd like to volunteer for a suicide mission." Chen frowned. "Explain." Harper's voice shook slightly, but his resolve was clear. "Those things are drawn to energy, right? Well, what if we gave them something irresistible to chase? A decoy to make sure they're in exactly the right spot when we detonate that drive?" Dr. Lakshmi's eyes lit up. "A hypercharged energy signature. Yes, that could work. But the amount of power required would be fatal to the pilot," Harper finished quietly. "I know. But if it gives us a shot at saving Earth, I'm willing to make that sacrifice." A heavy silence fell over the room. Finally, Chen spoke, his voice thick with emotion. "Private Harper, your courage does humanity proud. But I can't order anyone on a suicide mission." To everyone's surprise, it was Zara who stepped forward. "You don't have to. I'll do it." Shocked protests erupted from all sides, but Zara held up a hand for silence. "My ship, my drive, my responsibility. Besides, my physiology is better suited to withstand the energy output. I have the best chance of staying conscious long enough to complete the mission." Chen studied her for a long moment, then nodded sullenly. "Very well, let's make it happen." The next few hours were a blur of frantic activity. Engineers from both species worked side by side, modifying Zara's ship into a quantum bomb while simultaneously rigging a smaller craft with experimental energy amplifiers. As the final preparations were made, Zara found herself alone with Private Harper. The young human approached her awkwardly. "I just wanted to say, thank you," he said softly, "for being willing to do this for us, for Earth." Zara felt an unfamiliar lump in her throat. "I'm not just doing it for Earth," she replied. "I'm doing it for the future. A future where our peoples might stand together as equals." Harper nodded, then hesitated before pulling something from his pocket. It was a small, worn photograph. "This is my family," he explained. If I don't make it, could you make sure they know what happened here? That we fought alongside beings from another world to save our home." Zara took the photo carefully, a strange ache in her chest. "I will," she promised. "And Harper, it has been an honor to fight beside you." As alarms blared signaling the final Harvester assault, Zara climbed into the modified ship. Dr. Lakshmi's voice crackled over the comm. "Remember, you need to get as close to the mothership as possible before activating the energy signature. The quantum drive on your main ship is primed and ready. Once the Harvesters take the bait, we'll detonate it remotely." Zara took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. Understood, initiating launch sequence. As her ship rocketed into the sky, Zara felt a strange sense of peace wash over her. She had come to this planet as a conqueror, arrogant in her belief of consortium superiority. Now she was willingly sacrificing herself to save a world she had meant to subjugate. The irony was not lost on her. As she approached the massive Harvester mothership, Zara's fingers hovered over the activation switch. Everything hinged on perfect timing. Too soon and the plan would fail. Too late and Earth would fall. In that moment, suspended between life and death, victory and defeat, Zara finally understood what made humans so special. It wasn't their technology or their military might. It was their spirit, the indomitable will to fight on against impossible odds, to sacrifice everything for a cause greater than themselves. With a silent prayer to whatever cosmic forces might be listening, Zara flipped the switch. Her ship erupted in a dazzling explosion of energy, a miniature sun blazing in the shadow of the Harvester Colossus. The effect was instantaneous. The biomechanical horrors swarmed towards her, drawn by the irresistible feast of power. Zara gritted her teeth against the searing pain as her body was bombarded with lethal levels of radiation. Just a few seconds more. Back on Earth, President Chen watched the holographic display with bated breath. "Now," he shouted. Dr. Lakshmi's fingers flew across her console, initiating the quantum drive's detonation sequence. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then the sky erupted in a cataclysm of light and sound. The fabric of space-time itself seemed to tear as the otherworldly energies of the quantum explosion collided with the Harvester's impossible biology. When the light faded and sensors came back online, a stunned silence fell over the war room. Where the Harvester fleet had been, there was nothing but empty space and rapidly dispersing particles. They had done it. Against all odds, humanity and their unlikely allies had achieved the impossible. As cheers erupted around him, Chen's thoughts turned to the alien who had given her life to save a world not her own. Somehow, he knew that Zara's sacrifice would forever change the course of human history. The stars suddenly seemed a little closer, a little less lonely. And though the road ahead would be long and challenging, Chen knew that humanity was ready to take its place among the cosmos, not as conquerors or subjects, but as equals, forged in the crucible of an impossible victory. The age of isolation was over. A new era of galactic cooperation and discovery was about to begin. And it all started because one alien learned the true meaning of humanity. The quantum renaissance. In the aftermath of the Harvester invasion, Earth stood at the precipice of a new era. The victory had come at a great cost, but it had also ushered in an unprecedented age of innovation and interstellar cooperation. Dr. Lakshmi, now hailed as the savior of humanity, stood before a vast auditorium filled with scientists, dignitaries, and alien visitors from across the galaxy. Her wild red hair was streaked with silver now, a testament to the years of relentless work that have followed the invasion. "Ladies, gentlemen, and honored beings of all species," she began, her voice carrying a hint of the excitement that had never left her. "Today we stand on the brink of a revolution that will reshape our understanding of the universe itself." Behind her, a shimmering hologram sprang to life, displaying a complex network of pulsing energy pathways. "I present to you the quantum neural network," she announced. "By combining the principles of quantum entanglement we discovered during the Harvester crisis with the bio-neural technology salvaged from Captain Zara's ship, We've created a system that allows for instantaneous communication and computing across vast distances of space. Murmurs of awe rippled through the audience. An avian alien with iridescent feathers raised a wing-like appendage. But surely the energy requirements for such a system would be astronomical. Dr. Lakshmi's eyes twinkled. Ah, that's where things get really interesting. You see, we're not generating the energy, we're tapping into it. With a gesture, the hologram zoomed out, revealing a vast, gossamer-like web stretching between stars and galaxies. Thanks to the harvester's quantum interference field, we discovered something extraordinary. The universe itself is crisscrossed with naturally occurring quantum filaments, invisible strings of pure potential energy that connect everything in existence. She paused, letting the magnitude of the revelation sink in. We're not just building a new internet, my friends. We're plugging into the operating system of the cosmos itself. As the implications dawned on the assembled beings, the excitement in the room became palpable. This wasn't just a technological breakthrough, it was a fundamental shift in their relationship with the universe. President Chen, older now, but still carrying himself with the same quiet strength, stepped forward. The applications of this technology are limitless. Instant transportation across galaxies, the ability to terraform barren worlds in a fraction of the time, perhaps even the power to reshape reality itself. He turned to address the alien delegates. But we recognize the immense responsibility that comes with such power. That's why we're proposing the formation of a new interstellar alliance, not based on conquest or assimilation, but on mutual respect and the shared pursuit of knowledge. A tall crystalline being that seemed to shimmer with inner light rose from its seat. The consortium has long believed that order and control were the keys to galactic stability, it said, its voice resonating like chimes in the wind. But your victory over the harvesters, and the wonders you've unveiled since, has shown us the error of our ways. We would be honored to join your alliance. As more alien representatives voiced their support, a young human woman made her way to the front of the room. She bore a striking resemblance to the late Captain Zara, and when she spoke, there was a hint of an otherworldly lilt to her words. My name is Lyra, she said. I am the daughter of Zara Vex and Jack Harper. A hush fell over the crowd. The story of the alien captain's heroic sacrifice and the human soldier who had volunteered for a suicide mission was legendary. But this was unexpected. Lyra stood tall, her blue-tinged skin a testament to her mixed heritage. My mothers didn't live to see this day, but they believed in the potential of our peoples to achieve greatness together. I stand before you as living proof that our differences can be our greatest strength. She gestured to the hologram of the quantum neural network. This discovery isn't just about technology, it's about connection. It's about recognizing that at the most fundamental level, we are all part of the same cosmic tapestry. As Lyra spoke, tendrils of ethereal light began to emanate from her body, intertwining with the holographic display. Gasps of wonder echoed through the room as the assembled beings realized what they were witnessing. The quantum filaments, Dr. Lakshmi breathed. She's interfacing with them directly. Lyra's eyes glowed with an inner fire as she continued. My dual nature allows me to perceive and interact with the quantum realm in ways neither humans nor Findrans can alone. But this gift isn't meant for me alone. She extended her hands, and the tendrils of light stretched out, gently touching each person in the room. As they did, a collective gasp of awe arose. For a brief moment, every being present could feel the pulse of the universe flowing through them, connecting them to each other and to the vast, living cosmos beyond. This is our true heritage, Lyra said softly, not as conquerors or subjects, but as guardians and nurturers of the grand cosmic dance. The quantum renaissance isn't just about new technology, it's about a new way of being. As the light faded and the assembled beings came back to themselves, there was a profound sense that everything had changed. Old rivalries and prejudices seemed petty in the face of the vast, interconnected reality they had glimpsed. President Chen stepped forward once more, his eyes shining with unshed tears. We stand at a crossroads, my friends. The power we now wield could reshape galaxies or tear them apart. The choice of how to use it falls to all of us. He turned to Lyra, extending his hand. Will you help us navigate this new frontier, to ensure that we use this gift wisely for the benefit of all sentient life? Lyra took his hand, a smile playing at her lips. It would be my honor, Mr. President. After all, bridging worlds is in my blood. As the assembly erupted in cheers and applause, Dr. Lakshmi couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at how far they had come. From facing annihilation at the hands of the harvesters to standing on the brink of a new age of cosmic enlightenment, all because different species had learned to work together. The quantum renaissance was more than a scientific revolution. It was the dawn of a new chapter in the story of life itself. And as Lyra had shown them, they were all part of that grand narrative, each one a vital thread in the cosmic tapestry. As the delegates began to discuss the formation of the new alliance and the ethical implications of their discoveries, there was a shared sense of excitement and purpose. The universe, it seemed, was vaster and more wondrous than any of them had ever imagined, and they were just beginning to explore its true potential. The cosmic awakening. As the quantum renaissance unfolded across the galaxy, a new challenge emerged that would test the limits of the fledgling alliance. Deep in the uncharted regions of space, an ancient force stirred, one that predated even the harvesters. On a remote research outpost orbiting a black hole, alarms blared as reality itself began to warp and twist. Dr. Arya Khan, Earth's leading expert on quantum anomalies, stared in disbelief at the readings on her holographic display. "This can't be right," she muttered, her dark eyes wide with a mixture of fear and excitement. "The quantum filaments, they're converging. It's like the entire fabric of space-time is being pulled towards a single point." Her alien research partner, a being of pure energy named Zix, pulsed with concern. Could it be another harvester attack? They asked, their thoughts manifesting as shimmering waves of light. Arya shook her head. "No, this is something else entirely. Something older." As if in response to her words, a massive tear opened in the void before them. Through it, they glimpsed impossible geometries and colors that shouldn't exist in our reality. And at the center of it all, a presence that defied comprehension. "By the cosmic web," Zix whispered in awe. "It's a sentinel." Arya turned to her partner, confusion etched on her face. "A what?" Before Zix could respond, a booming voice echoed through their minds, not in words, but in concepts and emotions so vast they threatened to overwhelm their consciousness. "Sheikh Aldrian of the cosmos. The great Sci-fi nears its end. The choice a plus road cheese." Arya clutched her head, struggling to process the immense flow of information. Fragments of images flashed through her mind, civilizations rising and falling, galaxies born and dying, the very laws of physics being written and rewritten. As suddenly as it had appeared, the rift closed, leaving Arya and Zix floating in stunned silence. We need to alert the Alliance," Arya managed to gasp out. "Whatever that was, it's beyond anything we've encountered before." Within hours, an emergency summit was convened. Representatives from every known spacefaring race gathered in the Grand Chamber of Unity Station, the massive space habitat that served as the headquarters for the Interstellar Alliance. Lyra, now serving as the ambassador of harmony, stood at the center of the assembly. Her unique ability to interface with the quantum realm had made her an invaluable leader in this new age of cosmic exploration. "Friends, allies, fellow seekers of knowledge," she began, her voice carrying easily through the vast chamber. "We stand at a crossroads unlike any our species have faced before. The being we encountered, the Sentinel, is not our enemy, but neither is it our friend. It is a test." Murmurs of confusion rippled through the crowd. A holographic representation of Dr. Lakshmi, now well into her golden years but still sharp as ever, flickered to life beside Lyra. "Ambassador Lyra is correct," the renowned scientist said. Our analysis of the quantum disturbances indicates that these sentinels are some kind of cosmic gardeners. They cultivate intelligent life across the universe, guiding its evolution towards something, a grand purpose we can't yet comprehend. President Chen, his hair now completely white, but his eyes still burning with determination, stepped forward. And now they believe we're ready for the next stage of that evolution. The question is, are we? A tense silence fell over the assembly. The implications were staggering. Whatever choice the Sentinel had referred to, it would undoubtedly reshape the destiny of every being in the galaxy. Suddenly, a small, unassuming creature that resembled a sentient plant shuffled to the center of the chamber. It was seed tender Kalo, representative of the reclusive Chlorophon race. Friends, Kalo's voice was soft, but carried an undercurrent of ancient wisdom. My people have long cultivated the gardens of our homeworld, nurturing life in all its forms. Perhaps that is what we are meant to do on a cosmic scale. Laura's eyes widened as understanding dawned. Of course, the quantum filaments, the neural network we've been building, it's not just a communication system, it's the framework for a galactic ecosystem. Dr. Lakshmi nodded excitedly. Yes, and with our combined knowledge and technologies, we could guide the development of young civilizations, help them avoid the mistakes we made. But who are we to play God? Came a dissenting voice from the crowd. It was Admiral Cora, a grizzled veteran of the Harvester War. We're still figuring out our own place in the universe. How can we be trusted with the fate of entire worlds? The chamber erupted in heated debate. Some saw the opportunity as a sacred duty, a chance to shepherd life on an unimaginable scale. Others feared the corrupting influence of such power, warning that they might become no better than the harvesters they had fought so hard to defeat. As the arguments raged, Laura closed her eyes, reaching out with her unique senses to touch the quantum filaments that permeated the station. To her surprise, she felt countless other presences there, echoes of beings long past and whispers of those yet to come. Her eyes snapped open, glowing with inner light. "Wait," she called out, her voice carrying a weight that silenced the chamber instantly. "We're not alone in this decision." With a gesture, she brought the quantum filaments into the visible spectrum. The air shimmered as ghostly forms materialized, spectral representatives of countless civilizations across time and space. A collective gasp rippled through the assembly as they recognized figures from their own histories and mythologies, standing alongside bizarre alien forms they could scarcely comprehend. "The choice isn't just ours," Lyra explained, her voice filled with wonder. "It belongs to all of life, past, present, and future. We are all connected through the cosmic quantum tapestry." As if in response to her words, the spectral forms began to move, merging and flowing together. They coalesced into a shimmering vortex at the center of the chamber, pulsing with possibility. President Chen stepped forward, his eyes filled with tears of awe. I think I understand now. The choice isn't whether to accept this role or not. It's about how we choose to wield it." He turned to address the assembled beings, both physical and spectral. "We've learned that our greatest strength lies not in domination, but in diversity. In the beautiful, chaotic dance of life in all its forms. If we are to be gardeners of the cosmos, then let us tend not a sterile, controlled environment, but a wild, thriving ecosystem where every being has the chance to grow and flourish in its own unique way." A surge of agreement flowed through the quantum filaments, carrying with it the weight of countless civilizations across the vastness of space and time. Lyra nodded, a smile playing at her lips. "Then we are in agreement. We will accept the Sentinel's challenge, not as conquerors or gods, but as caretakers and nurturers of the great cosmic garden." As she spoke, the vortex of spectral energy began to pulse more rapidly. The entire station trembled as reality itself seemed to shift around them. "Decision excepted," came the thunderous thoughts of the Sentinel. "The next phase begins." In a blinding flash of light, the assembled beings found themselves transformed. Their consciousness expanded, merging with the quantum filaments that connected all of existence. They could feel the pulse of life across the galaxy, from the smallest microbe to the grandest spacefaring empires. As their awareness settled into this new state of being, they realized that they had become something more than their individual selves. They were now part of a vast cosmic network of life and consciousness, guardians and cultivators of existence itself. The quantum renaissance had reached its culmination, ushering in an age of unparalleled growth, discovery, and harmony. The boundaries between species, between past and future, between the physical and the metaphysical, had been transcended. And as the newborn cosmic gardeners turned their attention to the vast, uncharted realms of existence that lay before them, they knew that their greatest adventure was only just beginning. For in nurturing the grand tapestry of life, they had found their true purpose and the ultimate expression of what it meant to be human, to be alien, to be alive in a universe of infinite wonder.